Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Ann Jean, Communications Manager with CAIR, and I have with us our attorney, Ghadir Abbas. Assalamu alaikum, Ghadir.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, how about you?
Alhamdulillah.
So today, this wasn't a planned program, but something happened yesterday, and we wanted to make sure that we got the news out. Yesterday, a member of the Muslim community in DC was approached by the FBI, and they attempted to interrogate him. And that's why we have Ghadir here with us, because he's going to tell you about what happened next, because he was involved with in helping out the situation. So Ghadir, please tell us what happened yesterday when FBI attempted to interrogate the man.
Yeah, like every other day, yesterday, FBI agents approached a Muslim man, not to arrest him, not to investigate him, but to interrogate him, and wanted him to agree to be interrogated without an attorney present, without telling anybody else about it. And so had pushed to try to make arrangements for the man to agree to that. Mm-hmm. And when that man arrived home, not in accordance with any kind of an agreement that this Muslim brother had with FBI, 2 FBI agents were outside of his house. And, that is a very, that's a scary situation. Yeah. It's a scary situation that a lot of Muslims, unfortunately, have had to deal with for a couple decades now. And but this brother, he knew something about CAIR. He called, and that was a really important step. He didn't understand what necessarily his rights were, but he knew enough to reach out to figure out, these folks, at CAIR can help me navigate the situation, even while they're just a couple feet away outside his door. And so, alhamdulillah, I was able to speak with him, and the FBI agents left his house, and the brother didn't answer their questions, and everything continued for another day. And just to put a fine point on it, this brother was approached by the FBI on January 21st, 2020, under a Biden administration. And so we just got to remember that it's not the case that because Trump has left office that, everything is going to be great and lovely for the Muslim community in the United States. It's still really, really important for Muslims across the country to know their rights and to know them well enough to have the sense to exercise those rights.
Yeah.
And it's not just important for you and your family. It's important for the whole community. I remember an FBI agent once told me that he loves seeking out to interrogate and meeting with FBI because he always gets invited inside and gets served tea.
The FBI agent said he loves interacting with Muslims because we're hospitable and we always invite them in.
Yeah. And so
we shouldn't do that. That's the point. Is we should.
Yes, don't do that. You don't want to, if FBI shows up at your work, at your home, if you're at the grocery store, the only thing that you should be telling them is, give me your contact information. I'll have a lawyer contact you. A lot of times people don't get in trouble for doing something wrong. They get in trouble for lying about something they're embarrassed about lying about something that they feel like the government might view unfavorably. And that's a lot of times what gets people in trouble, not that they committed some independent crime, but
so yesterday, it wasn't that the FBI, they came to this man, it was like a random check-in. Like this could happen to anyone. It wasn't like something that he did that brought them there. Was it just a random thing?
Yeah, like is most often the case, this is the brother's first encounter with an FBI agent. And for most folks, the first time you encounter an FBI agent, it's not that you're expecting, to be encountered by the FBI agent. A lot of times an FBI agent will go from one person to the next based on, who's in who's in the WhatsApp group, who went to this mosque or that mosque. Recently, we've seen an uptick. There was some university in Iran that was designated, I think last month. And we saw the FBI just go around, blindly, indiscriminately to any, Iranian national or anybody else who attended that university. And it wasn't because they believed that those people had committed crimes. They're just collecting information. That's all that's happening. And so, in those situations, that FBI agent, his job or her job is to question people, interrogate people. They're trained to do that. They're educated to do that. And they have practice doing that. They've done it hundreds, if not thousands of times. Whereas, a brother or sister, most likely it's the first, inshallah, it's the first time you're encountering the FBI. And so that's why you want to reach out to a lawyer.
And what I'm understanding, Lazia, did we lose you? Okay, well, I'll let him jump back in. But just to reiterate for those of you who are just jumping in, a man yesterday was approached by the FBI and he contacted CAIR and he was put in contact with Ghadir. And Ghadir instructed him not to answer any questions. And that's what he's encouraging. Well, first of all, if you are in a situation like this, which any of us could be, because this man was randomly approached by the FBI, if you find yourself in this situation, he's back with us. I was just re-explaining what you already said, that if you find yourself in this situation, to contact CAIR. And from what I understand, your advice is that we don't owe them any answers, right? Like their job is to ask questions, and what we should do to protect our rights is to not answer them, because even if you haven't done something wrong, it could, right? Like it could be spun or something. That's what I'm understanding.
It's a crime to lie to the FBI, and it's a strategy for the FBI to lie to you. And so if a clever FBI agent, there's good FBI, just like everything else. There's, good professional FBI agents, and there's bad unprofessional FBI agents. And some of those bad unprofessional FBI agents have gone to anti-Muslim training. So, we several years ago, all these anti-Muslim trainings that were used for FBI personnel for years, surfaced, and were exactly in line with what we saw in the community. And so you don't know when an FBI agent calls you or contacts you or shows up at your house. You don't know if you're dealing with someone who's good and professional or someone who's bad and unprofessional. Yeah. You don't know if you're dealing with someone that has a bigoted view about Islam and Muslims. And so there's absolutely no situation in which you want to talk to the FBI alone without an attorney present. And there's no situation where the FBI can make you talk to them or answer their questions, at your home or, in your workplace or, anywhere else outside of a grand jury proceeding. And so you really have to exercise your rights and not answer the questions. Talk with a lawyer. The lawyer, what I did this morning, what is our standard protocol, is we'll call the FBI. We'll say, hey, what is it? Why is it that you wanted to talk to this person? Mm-hmm. And some FBI agents will answer that question. Some FBI agents won't answer that question. But whether they answer it or not, you're learning more about why it is that they're talking to you. And you're getting more information about what you should do and how you should proceed. And you can make that decision alongside a lawyer who's done it hundreds, if not thousands of times, rather than by yourself. And you should never believe it's false. It's a false belief to think I hear this all the time, brother, I should talk to them because I have nothing to hide. If I just talk to them, then they'll leave me alone. I will say, as a principle, that's not true. But in practice, the more you talk to them, the more they're going to bother you, especially if they feel like, you're very, willing to share information about this, that, and the other thing. They're likely to go back to you. And so, we need to be there. There's a reason we have the right to an attorney. There's a reason the FBI does not have the authority to compel us to speak. And that's, for our protection, for our family's protection, and for our community's protection.
And just to, wrap this up, your advice to those people is to just not answer the questions. And what did you do with the FBI? Like, were you speaking to them as well, or were you just on the phone with the man the whole time?
Yeah, so, if an FBI agent approaches you or contacts you by phone, all you should be doing is getting their contact information and telling them, I will have an attorney contact you. Then you can call us. Our price is right. We're for free. We'd be happy to help you. And we deal with those situations a lot where people are approached at their homes by FBI agents, and sometimes it's us talking to an FBI agent who's refusing to leave, and sometimes it's enough for the client to communicate that they're on the phone with an attorney, and it's a reflection that the person who the FBI is trying to interrogate is serious about exercising their right to have an attorney and exercising their right not to speak and answer the FBI's questions.
Okay. So I just put that advice right there in the comments. It's right here on the screen. Like Lydia just said, and if an FBI agent contacts you, get their contact information and tell them your lawyer is going to get in touch with them. So you don't have to answer any questions. Your lawyer will do it. And like he said, CAIR is always available, and we're always here to help with situations like this. Is there anything you want to add to that?
That's it. I put a nice little bow on it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Hadid, for coming and telling us about the situation. Thank you for helping yesterday. And that's something that I do want to highlight, that you guys do this all the time. And just like that, like just by the man called and you were there to help him. And we really appreciate our attorneys, our team of attorneys, for always being available to do that. And you obviously wouldn't be able to if it wasn't for the support of our viewers and everyone who supports us. So thank you for everyone who's watching as well.
Assalamu alaikum.